can subscribe today for free at 560theanswer.com and click on podcasts. Or search for The Sean Thompson Show on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts.
Our founders believed that freedom wasn't just a word, it was a way of life. The freedom to move forward, the freedom to pursue what matters most, the freedom to live fully. But pain has a way of taking those freedoms away. That's why Relief Factor exists and why I endorse it. I've seen how many in this audience have regained their freedom and they're back to living life on their own terms. Relief Factor, it's 100% drug-free. It's a research-based supplement designed to help support a healthy inflammatory response, addressing pain at its source, not just covering it up. Over 1 million Americans have found relief and reclaimed parts of their life they thought were behind them. So this year, as we celebrate 250 years of freedom, ask yourself a simple question. Are you living with the freedom you deserve? Relief Factor. They give you the opportunity to live pain-free and to get back to the life you love. To commemorate our country's birth, they are offering a special patriotic price, just $17.76. So you can celebrate your freedom from pain. Your $17.76 3-week quick start is ready for you right now. ReliefFactor.com, 800-4-RELIEF. 800, the number 4-RELIEF.
I'd like to tell you about a man named Phineas who as a child survived the Holocaust. Phineas survived because Christians hid him from the Nazis, risking everything to save his life. Today, Phineas is in his 80s. He can no longer stand on his own or even leave his home to receive medical care. And when sirens sound and missiles fall, he doesn't have the time or the strength to reach safety. But once again, Christians are helping to save his life. Through the International Fellowship of Christians and Jews, a mobile clinic brings doctors and medicine right to Phineas's doorstep, providing care that he otherwise would not receive, especially during a time of war. Phineas said, "Christians saved my life during the Holocaust, and now again, they are helping me." As Israel's Holocaust Remembrance Day approaches, remember these precious children of God by lifting them up in prayer, asking for his protection, his comfort, and his peace. Stand with Israel in prayer by visiting supportifcj.org. That's supportifcj.org.
Matthew.
Huh? Oh, sorry.
It's okay. I just need you to listen to me.
I know that a lot of times, Mom, it might not seem like I'm listening to you, but I am. I hear you. And what you say really does matter to me.
I mean, let's be honest. No kid likes rules, but I get why we have them. I hear you, and I know it's because you care.
All the talks we've had over the years, including what you've told me about not using alcohol and other drugs, they stick with me. And believe it or not, they really do make a difference, especially at times that matter most.
Hey, want a drink?
No thanks, I'm good. So thank you, Dad, for talking and preparing me for what's ahead.
Thanks, Mom, for never giving up and always being my biggest fan.
Thank you for letting me know what you expect, so I can try to meet your expectations.
Thank you for talking.
For more information about talking with your kids about underage use of alcohol and other drugs, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
Portions of the following show may be pre-recorded.
The following live program is sponsored by Breakthrough Ideas.
AM 560, The Answer. It's time for breaking news, expert insight, and informed commentary on what's happening in Springfield, Chicago, and beyond. Because an informed citizenry is the only way to protect our republic. It's time for The Real Story with Jeanne Ives and Amy Jacobson.
Oh, I don't know if you saw it. There wasn't one, there wasn't two, but there were 3 drag queens outside of the Village Hall in Park Ridge, Illinois on Sunday, and they were dancing. This is what it sounded like. They weren't dancing, they were doing karaoke. One had a full-blown beard and a dress, and the other 2 were just, very flamboyant. Their bosoms were showing, sticking out of their dress. But here's the problem. They were collecting, during the song, they were collecting single dollar bills from kids as young as 2, 3 years old. They were inside of a circle saying, "You're in a safe space, kiddies, so let it out." It was absolutely disgusting. One person was named Tipsy Bubbles. He was the one with the full beard. Oh, yeah. Then they promoted. You can find him on Instagram because he's available for parties,
I just wanted the ABBA song to stop, and it did. Thank you.
It did.
That
voice belongs to Jim Iuorio. Jeannie Ives, she is with us from Alaska. She's being a grandmother. And yesterday, I had mentioned that she was, doing grandma things. And my grandma didn't look like her when they were growing up. Grandmas didn't look like that when they were growing up. Right, Jeannie? But we got a lot of text messages into the show that said if it's raining outside, you should simply just build tents with your 3-year-old and 1-year-old grandchild and that they'll enjoy that.
Yeah, well, there is 241 days of rain on average in Juneau, but no, yesterday was pretty fun. Saw in the wild a bear, a porcupine, and a marmot. So
my
God. Good day.
It's kind of fun.
You didn't hunt any of them down, did you?
No.
Okay. All right. The phone number.
Back to Pride.
Yeah.
Back to like Park Ridge Pride. I mean, they had a whole day of events on Friday, and Pride, Park Ridge begins with a kickoff event with DJ Gloria and bouncy houses. All making it fun for kids, but then really moving into the other thing. They had the firebrand line dancers. They had a welcome by Pastor Carol Hill. They had the mayor's pride proclamation. And then they had this keynote speaker just before the drag queen show. Shannon, oh my God, I can't even pronounce her name. Shannon Lynn Parker. She is the new CEO of Equality Illinois, and she's the first transgender Black woman for Equality Illinois. And she was the keynote speaker. So this is what
Wait, I have a quick question.
With.
She's transgender, but is she trans?
It's a he that looks like a she.
But what about the race part of it? Are they identifying as a Black person? Or are they actually a genetic Black person? Can you do that too? Is that a thing? No?
Yeah, you're right. It's a good question. Can I, like Rachel Donazell, who passed herself off as Black.
I recall,
she was
exactly.
White as all white.
Right.
So in Partridge, when I saw this, to me, it looked like child abuse. And because of the fact that the kids were as young as 2 years old and handing $single bills, I thought we stopped that.
Yeah.
I thought that was persona non grata, especially in a place that used to be a conservative bastion known as Park Ridge.
Anyone who argues that it's not entirely inappropriate is just wrong. We don't expose kids to like overt sexuality. We just don't do that. It's never been our thing. And to accuse us of being like somehow anti-gay because I don't want to celebrate someone else's sexuality is absurd. The whole thing is dumb. Yeah.
Well, and it's in a public spot. I mean, public spots should be reserved for things that are, PG rated. There's no way that this was PG rated, quite frankly.
Now, Jim, you live near Buffalo Grove. Did you attend the Buffalo Grove Gay Pride Parade?
Oh, shoot. Did I miss it? When was that?
It was on Sunday.
Oh, I didn't know.
And here's the thing. Do you know who Josh Sider is?
I don't.
He's a troller. So he lives, I think he's based out of Chicago. Actually, he is. He'll put on pink hair or blue hair, put on a nose ring, look very woke, and just insert himself into certain situations. So on Sunday, he identified as the Grand Marshal of the Buffalo Grove Parade, and he had a sign up that said, "Let's make some noise." Okay, here he is. He just kind of jumped into the parade in front of a group, said, "Let's make some noise," and then he flipped the sign over, and it said, "Make some noise if you love Donald Trump." And people lost their minds. Ew, and then they're like, "Ew, no, boo." But he looked the part. Like he represented as a gay man wearing the boot, wearing whatever. I think he had pink and green hair that day. So
it's funny.
312-642-5600. That's our phone line. You could also text us if you were there. I got a text message from 773. Amy, you are right. Josh does live in Chicago. Another one from 847. There are many issues with trans in Chicago and Park Ridge schools, believe it or not. Let's go to Karen in the northwest suburbs. Good morning, Karen. How are you?
Hey, Amy. How are you?
Good. So did you go to the BG event, or do you have the history on that parade?
Just some background on it, which is so obnoxious because Pinta, who started this, I think she does it for selfish reasons. Her daughter was in junior high, and she must have told her mom that she was probably confused about her sexuality, and her mother ran with it selfishly. That poor girl, I'm sure, didn't want to be put in the spotlight the way that her mother forced her in. They were doing public appearances, wrote a book together. They met with Oprah. They went to the White House. And then when she went to high school, she found a boyfriend.
Oh, okay.
I mean, junior high is the most confusing, truly lost years for these kids. And she should not be teaching in this environment. If she's encouraging the same thing to her students that she did to her daughter, she needs the attention of the parade because she's vain. She suffers from her own mental identity issues. And your average gay person doesn't need constant affirmation or needs to be called brave or needs an obnoxious, controversial parade. They just want to be gay.
Well, how long? Because Arlington Heights doesn't have a gay pride parade. Last I checked, Elk Grove, I know, doesn't have one. They don't even fly the flag. How long has the parade been going on, and who financially supported it?
It's privately funded in Buffalo Grove. It's just Buffalo Grove Park. The Park District wants nothing to do with it. In fact, she used to have a lot more sponsors, but they've dropped back. I mean, she even had like a Starbucks that was one of her biggest promoters. They've since closed. I think people are stepping away from it. I think people are done.
Well, yeah, no, I mean, actually, polling kind of shows that. Gallup's been polling Americans on these LGBTQ issues since 1996. And a Real Clear Politics polling article basically said that it peaked in 2022 with about 71% supporting same-sex marriages. And I know a lot of folks who are LG want to separate, that from the B and the T. But, this polling does say that it's on the decline, though. Even support for same-sex marriage has declined, falling 65% who think marriages should be valid and 62% who think gay and lesbian relationships are morally acceptable. On the transgender issue, Gallup started asking in 2021 whether changing one's gender is morally acceptable, and 46% said it was. In the latest 2026 survey, however, only 38% said it was morally acceptable. And certainly what we've seen from Supreme Court decisions and other outrage, and obviously the Chloe Cole testimony from last week in Congress and the lawsuits that are ensuing, we know that the trans issue, especially when it comes to minors, is really in the tank at this point.
Absolutely.
Karen, this person, she teaches, I know from people in the area, I'm from here. She teaches Spanish, and her room is not decorated with the Spanish flag or the Argentinian flag or other Spanish-speaking countries. Her room is completely decked out in gay pride, correct?
I've heard that. Yeah,
okay.
I've heard that. We have a lot of kids that we know that go to that school.
Yeah, but the problem is she made national news because once Charlie Kirk died, and I remember this because I read the Facebook post, she wrote, "Karma is a biatch."
Well, you can't say that word on radio still?
No, I say
All right.
my other version.
Good to know. Good to know.
But so what happened to her after that? Do you know? Because, I mean, because you can't say that. And then it drew a lot of bomb threats to the school, and parents were taking their kids out of her classroom.
Yeah, she put that whole school in jeopardy, and I feel bad for anyone who works there or goes there because there was media standing out front. There was a couple bomb threats. Kids were being pulled out of her class and put into her coworkers' classes, apparently. And then she went on a medical leave in March, and she never returned back to the end of the year. So nobody knows if she's returning back there.
Wow.
Who knows what the school did? I'm sure she's protected by the union.
Are people still attending that gay pride parade in Buffalo Grove? The shots that I saw, it looked like there was more participants than people on the sidewalks cheering them on.
She has her usual supporters. I don't know anyone who went.
Okay.
She has her usuals that attend, but I don't think it's as big as it was when it first started.
Yeah. And I'm just going to say this full blown. I am not homophobic. I, like many of us, have relatives who are gay, but I don't have to celebrate anybody's sexuality. I don't.
And the advent of these events was for acceptance. The acceptance it's perfectly accepted now. It's too accepted in some ways. I don't care to accept it any more than I have. And I agree with you. I'm not even the slightest homophobic. Libertarians, like us, we're the ones who fight for your right to be whatever you want. I don't know why they try to pull us into it and then make us feel bad if we don't want to celebrate. It's absurd.
Text message 224, Jeannie and Amy, gag me. The city should not be called Park Ridge, but Puke Ridge.
Okay.
And then 847, are there any issues with trans in Chicago Ridge School? I read that before, but it just is not going away. But the grooming in Park Ridge, that took my breath away. I thought that stopped, because that looks like child abuse to me.
Oh, it does to me too. I mean, again.
Well, and the Supreme Court weighed in. They ruled in favor of parents seeking to opt their children out of public school instruction that conflicts with their religious beliefs. They made this decision a year ago, and they said, you can't be putting these LGBTQ themes around them in the classroom. And you still see it in the classroom all the time.
Thanks, Karen, for the phone call. Remember simpler times when we didn't know if our teachers were even married, and we didn't know if it was even appropriate. Should we ask them? But we had no propaganda at all in the classroom, just the American flag.
Exactly.
And that was it, unless you were in French class, and then you'd have, the French flag. All right, coming up on The Real Story, will a strong jobs number save us from going into a recession, and what the Bears going to Hammond means for certain restaurants in the area? We'll explain.
Subscribe to the Real Story podcast on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, or at 560theanswer.com.
Mike Lindell and the MyPillow employees want to thank you for your great support this past year. They want to make 2026 the best year ever. So to thank you, they are giving you free shipping on your entire order and wholesale pricing. So they are bringing back the mega sale. For example, the classic MyPillows, regularly $49.98, now only $14.98. Turn any mattress into the best mattress ever with the Made in the USA MyPillow My Mattress Topper and save up to $100. Get a set of MyPillow Giza Dream Sheets for as low as $29.98, or the 6-pack towel set for only $34.98. To get the best specials ever, go to MyPillow.com and use promo code LIBERTY, or call 800-489-0201 and use promo code LIBERTY. These offers won't last long, so call 800-489-0201 or go to MyPillow.com and use promo code LIBERTY. Order now and your entire order ships absolutely free.
It is that time of year again to save babies by providing ultrasounds with our friends at Preborn. You know how this goes. We've done it every single year at this time. All you have to do is pick up the phone and say, I want to provide a free ultrasound to a girl. Give her the chance to see the truth of what's happening in her body. Every $28 helps do that, saving one baby. $280 can do that, helps save 10 babies. More does more. The phone number is 833-850-2229. 833-850-BABY. Join us saving babies with Preborn again this year. We're going to save hundreds of babies, one at a time, 2 or 5 or 10 at a time. That phone number again is 833-850-BABY. That's 833-850-2229. Or go online to 560theanswer.com/baby.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-555-2085. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-555-2085. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-555-2085. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-555-2085 or biglou.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for joining Amy and I on The Real Story. And we want the real story on the jobs and economy. So we invited Jim Iuorio to come in and give us a little bit of an update about what's going on. It seems like we had a very strong job report in May, which is good, I guess, especially if you're a college graduate and you're looking for a job. But where do those jobs come from? What industries are the hottest? Are they the jobs that are supported by government, like healthcare, or are they jobs that are supported by the private sector? I want to find out all of that from Jim, and Jim joins us right now. Thanks a lot for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me. Remember back in April, the first day of April, before that jobs number that came out on the 3rd, the whole prevailing narrative was that AI was destroying jobs, and that was going to be one of the reasons the Fed had to ease rates to support a weak economy, a labor weakening. Since that time, we've had several different blockbuster jobs. You asked where they're coming from. They're not coming from government. Remember, we had 4 years under the Biden administration where we pretended we had good job growth, but the reality of it is we were spending like drunken sailors and hiring tons and tons of government workers. We're not doing that anymore, which, by the way, a shot at the Trump administration. We're still spending money like drunken sailors, just in different ways, but we're not hiring government employees, and this is all private sector.
Well, that's great. Looking more into Illinois specifically, our unemployment, though, ticked up. It didn't tick down.
Yeah.
And I think we have like the fourth worst unemployment rate still. Why is the Illinois economy so sluggish at this point? Can you pinpoint it to more than just government regulation?
No, well, government regulation is part of it. Just an absolutely ridiculous tax environment here. It's one of the least friendly places to do business in Illinois. It would be amazing to me if we had job growth. We are talking about a federal economy that has to be a nationwide economy that has to be hitting so on all cylinders and be so gangbusters to raise up a state like Illinois. Illinois is doing everything wrong. And I guess I know we're going to talk about the Bears, but the Bears is just kind of a microcosm of everything that's going on here. It's not, yes, they want tax money, but they want a friendly business environment. There's all the cards are stacked against starting a business in Illinois. I never know if it's done intentionally or not, because I sometimes think that Governor Pritzker and Brandon Johnson want to destroy it because they want to then get federal handouts if they think it can't be saved. And by the way, if anyone thinks that that's some radical opinion, it is not that radical. It's just, to me, it seems like normal psychology for these people.
Well, does the federal government give money to red states over blue states?
Well, it depends on who's in office, but Donald Trump is kind of a bailout president. You know what I mean? He is. I don't consider him. I voted for him. I would do it again tomorrow, 1,000 out of 1,000 times. But I don't consider him a particular conservative, and I think he probably would bail out Illinois. But if the next guy comes in, who is what color are we again? We're blue in Illinois. That's the Democrat.
Yes.
Would they give money to the blue? The answer to that is, of course, they would. I mean, if the Democrats were in office, which they might be.
Well, let's talk about...
So the fifth largest economy in the country, the sixth most populous state, what you're saying is that Illinois is too big to fail. And you think, I don't know. I mean, is that a prevailing thought, or is that a thought at all in your neighborhood, in the people that you talk to, that they think that seriously the federal government would come in and bail out this failed state? That would be... I mean, people would take up arms, I think.
Well, they already have in some respects. In 2020, $200 billion was funneled to Illinois through the different programs and the ridiculous COVID mitigation strategy. But I'm not specifically saying that I think the federal government will bail us out. I think that Pritzker and Johnson think that the federal government will bail us out. But I will add something else too, is that Illinois municipal bonds have traded in what I thought is a ridiculously low interest rate for a long time. And that meaning that people are willing to lend Illinois money. I think embedded in that price is kind of an implication that the federal government would bail us out if things hit the fan. And everyone says, well, a state can't go bankrupt. That's not 100% true. You just need federal approval. Arkansas did declare bankruptcy in 1933. I might be getting some of it wrong, but right around then. So it can happen.
Got a text message. Jim Iuorio, how is the construction business with building all these data centers? We found out yesterday there's 20 already here in just Elk Grove. 5 are under construction.
Right. I'm long copper.
Pardon?
I'm long copper and I'm long silver. Silver's getting hurt, but copper.
Sure.
I mean, I think the trade is the AI trade. At first, we just bought all the AI names who were creating the creating AI and going to be the perceived gatekeepers of AI. But I think there's different levels to the trade now. One of them is materials for data centers. That's why I'm long copper. And the next one is going to be, one of the reasons I'm long healthcare is because I think there are types of the economy that are going to be helped by AI and made more efficient and more productive. And there's no guarantee that Anthropic is going to be the gatekeeper of AI or anyone else of those names in 4 or 5 years' time.
What are some hot stocks today?
Hot stocks today. Everything's in the toilet today.
Yeah.
There's something I bought that was up. The other day I bought XLV, which is the healthcare ETF, and it's done very, very well. And but everything is getting clobbered today. We at unfilteredinvestor.com kind of had this. I'm not trying to give like an attaboy to us. Our technical models suggested that we were very overvalued and we were going to pull back in the entire market, and we are right now. And by the way, we mentioned recession before. Part of the fact that our economy is doing well, we've talked about the K-shaped in tedium. I mean, there is a K-shaped economy. The asset holders are the upper 20%. If the stock market gets knocked to the tune of 15 to 20%, which I'm not saying it will, but if it does, the recession will be immediately to follow because there will no longer be that wealth effect where people are making money on their assets and then spending money, if that makes sense.
All right, let's move on to the Bears on our remaining time with you. Polymarket says, that the Bears are going to stay in Chicago or in Illinois?
It says there's a 53% chance that they moved to Indiana. So it's still likely that they moved to Indiana, but not nearly as likely as we're all led to believe. Now, I will add that there hasn't been a ton of money wagered on this particular Polymarket bet, will the Bears leave by December 31st. So I don't think it's completely conclusive. I still think, I don't know what I think. What do you think?
But you as a restaurant owner in the area, you would have made tens of thousands of dollars, not just from the 8 Bears games, because you guys are closed on Sundays for now.
For now.
But from the concerts.
That's what I thought, too. I thought the concerts were going to be a big deal for us. Our restaurant is 3 miles away from the entrance to what was Arlington Park. On the same street on Northwest Highway. I thought it would be a huge deal for us. I thought more than tens of thousands of dollars. So it's a little bit of a kick in the teeth if they don't come, because I was hoping for it. But again, that shows that I'm biased on this issue. That's why I wanted them to come.
Right.
Well, I mean, it'll be interesting. There's been 2 Republicans now that have actually put legislation together to bring the Bears specifically to a deal here to keep them in the state of Illinois. But they're Republicans, and the Democrats will never let Republicans own this issue, promote a bill. By the way, the politics of this are enormous. Okay, they would never give Illinois Republicans credit for any good proposal out there to bring the Bears. It's going to definitely have to come from the Democrat side. So you've got Cunningham in the Senate, Buckner in the House, and those 2 are probably going to try and put something together for the Bears. There's no doubt there will be an attempt to keep them here. Whether or not it'll be enough and palatable to the rest of the caucuses that say, well, we want property tax relief for all. I mean, there's article after article out again about just this woman in Riverdale. They just did a huge expose. She bought a house, $207,000. She has a $17,000 property tax bill. Nobody can afford that. That's why if they're going to cut a deal, they need to cut a deal for everybody. That's the only way to get this across the line, in my opinion. And I don't see that happening, quite frankly.
All right, you're listening to The Real Story on AM 560, The Answer.
Make sure that you never miss a day of Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft when you subscribe to the Chicago's Morning Answer podcast, presented by Signature Bank. Listen to the entire show each day on demand with limited commercial breaks. You can subscribe today for free at 560theanswer.com and click on podcasts or search for Chicago's Morning Answer on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts.
Fox News, I'm Gianna Gelosi. An unmanned drone boat was used to rescue 2 soldiers after a helicopter crashed near the Strait of Hormuz.
This was an operational first for the U.S. military. Now, it's not clear if the gunship went down due to enemy fire or a mechanical issue. CENTCOM released a statement saying, in part, the soldiers were safely rescued within approximately 2 hours and are in stable condition. The cause of the incident is under investigation.
That's Fox's Trey Yanks in Tel Aviv. It's primary day in 4 states. In Maine, Democrat Graham Plattner's path to the primary has been marked with controversies, including a Nazi tattoo and accusations from former girlfriends about concerning behavior.
He is an oysterman. He's a Marine and Army veteran, a self-proclaimed foe of the oligarchy, facing another rough headline, courtesy of his former political director, titled, "I know firsthand why Graham Plattner shouldn't be a U.S. Senator."
That's Fox's Molly Line in Portland. America's listening to Fox News.
Now, your official weather forecast.
This afternoon will bring partly sunny skies with very warm and humid conditions, reaching a high of 88. Tonight, expect warm and humid weather with increasing clouds and widely separated thunderstorms developing late with a low of 70. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina on AM 560, The Answer.
Get the latest weather, traffic, and news updates online at 560theanswer.com.
Amazon Business. Discover smart business buying where unmatched selection meets AI-driven tools to simplify complex processes so you can focus on what matters most. Learn more at amazonbusiness.com.
Hi, I'm Ken Mariotti, owner of Woodland Windows and Doors, a third-generation family-owned business since 1969. We know you're bombarded by choices when shopping for new windows or doors, so we're inviting you to experience the Woodland difference. For decades, we have been transforming living spaces with Marvin Windows, a fifth-generation family business. Marvin replacement windows have been known to increase the warmth of your cold rooms by 10 degrees. Think about that, 10 degrees warmer. When you welcome Woodland into your home, you will get a product expert to transform your living spaces, full-time, dedicated professional installers that you can trust in your home, along with the best products like Marvin. These are the reasons we're proud of our 5-star reviews and family legacy. No gimmicks, no pressure, and upfront pricing are why Woodland Windows and Doors is your trusted window and door expert in Chicagoland. Visit woodlandwindows.com to book your free in-home expert consultation. That's woodlandwindows.com, or stop by our showroom at the corner of Lake and Geary in Roselle.
You know what really keeps me up at night? It's the criminals feel more and more bold. They have no fear of any consequences because there are none. So I did what anyone with a family should do. I called Goldilocks. They're not just some cookie-cutter security company. Goldilocks has been protecting Chicagoland homes and businesses for 4 decades, 40 years. And they actually listen. Their technician comes out to the house. He takes a look at what you need to make your house a smart home with a security system you can monitor from anywhere. It's built specifically for me and my family. Motion sensors, smart locks, cameras, monitoring, all customized. I don't trust anybody in Illinois to protect my family. I do it, and I did it by calling Goldilocks. I trust Goldilocks to keep my house, my property, and my family safe. Tell them Sean Thompson sent you, and Goldilocks will include 3 months free monitoring with any new installation. Call Goldilocks at 708-889-5600. That's 708-889-5600. Or visit them online at GoldilocksInc.com.
Hi, Dr. Huber here with Marty. Marty and I were at the Cigar Festival 2026, and we're here listening to Sean Thompson's show. And Marty told me about he has a sinus problem that Virago seemed to help.
Probably for the past 15, 20 years, I would get a sinus infection every spring, every fall, and had to go in, get medication. Since the last 2 years, I've been taking Virago. I have not had any issues with the sinus. If I feel it coming on, I just up the dosage, and then I get the sweats one night, and then it's all gone. I feel great.
So you think Virago is a big reason for all this improvement?
Yeah, and I don't have to take any sinus medication, which I'm happy about because I don't know what's in half that stuff anyway.
Well, that's great, and thanks, Marty. We're glad to tell our Virago fans that we do help with your sinus problems. Thank you.
Try Virago today. Order your bottle online at myvirago.com and use coupon code IMMUNE to save 30%. That's myvirago.com, coupon code IMMUNE. Virago and Maha, making America healthy again.
This hourly segment is brought to you by the Alpha Wealth Group, bringing the trilogy of estate, tax, and investment planning together. Visit alphawealthgroup.com for a free report.
AM 560, The Answer.
All right, welcome back. Let's just get to it because we have so much to cover. And it's such a short time that we have with you every single day where we really do try to focus on local and state issues. I want to read again from a Real Clear Politics polling, and this is about AI. The latest Economist YouGov poll of 1,604 U.S. adult citizens conducted from May 21st to June 1st of 2026 says Americans are uncertain about AI's impending impact on their personal lives. The plurality, 28%, expects a somewhat positive effect on their lives, yet 19% believe AI will have a somewhat negative effect, and 16% expect a very negative effect. Well, you know what powers AI, and that is data centers. And there seems to be the same sort of concern when it comes to data centers, especially with the not in my backyard attitude that we're seeing across the state of Illinois with lots of locals, from Naperville to Taylorville, saying we don't want these data centers near us. And so we've got a political football here. And, what is the future of those data centers and AI, and what's it going to look like for the state of Illinois? Well, Governor Pritzker, we've got Steve Goreham coming on the line with us right now. And Steve is the executive director of the Climate Science Coalition of America and the author of 4 books on energy, climate change, sustainable development, and public policy, with over 100,000 copies in print. His latest book is Green Breakdown: The Coming Renewable Energy Failure. He joins us now to talk about this area of data centers, and especially with Governor Pritzker's recent announcement that he's going to suspend the tax breaks for data centers that want to build in Illinois. So, Steve, first question to you: what is the impact of Pritzker's pullback on the tax credits?
Hey, Jeannie, great to join you again. Yeah, you make some good comments. We do have a lot of people that are very concerned about data centers, and a lot of people opposing data centers across the country. I think some of that is bad press, incorrect press, but nevertheless, there's an awful lot of building going on, and I'm not sure I'd want a data center next to my house. They're kind of like big warehouses, actually, and I wouldn't want a big warehouse next to my house either. But Governor Pritzker, actually, the state of Illinois has been doing pretty well. If you're in favor of data centers, they have built 63 new data centers in the last 10 years. I'm sorry, the last 2 years, 63 new data centers, and that was up from about 147 2 years ago. So they're one of the states that's been building them. But Governor Pritzker just announced that he's going to suspend applications for tax breaks for new data centers. And so that things are going to slow down in Illinois. And, we'll just have to see what happens. But this is a very competitive market, and these data centers are going to other states that are allowing them to be built. So we'll have to see.
Yeah. And Steve Gorman, I have to tell you that announcement of suspending the tax break for data centers came just a wee few hours after he found out that we lost the Chicago Bears. Do you find that ironic at all?
Well, I don't know. I think it's pretty sad if you can't keep maybe your leading sports team in the state, but that's up to the higher powers here. I hate to see the Bears go, but I've been a pretty big fan. But we have a situation right now where the states that have been pushing net zero electricity targets, in other words, that people that our electricity in those states has to go to wind and solar, they seem to be losing out on the AI revolution in terms of data centers. Some examples are New York. New York has only built 6 data centers in the last 2 years. Colorado has only built 1. California has built 20, but that's only a 7% increase in what they have in California in the last 2 years. And Massachusetts has built 0 data centers in the last 2 years. We have other states that are building them very fast. Indiana, 84 new data centers in 2 years. Iowa, 73 new ones. Texas, 206 new data centers. So and these are typically states that do not have laws that tell you that you have to use wind and solar for your electricity, like Illinois has been now telling any new utilities.
Can I ask a quick question?
Yeah.
What's interesting about this is Pritzker just said that he's directing the pause on the data centers. He mentioned that, look, we want them to bring their own renewable energy with them. We know that's a fallacy. When he talks renewable energy, he's not talking nuclear necessarily. He's talking wind and solar. That's not going to happen with a data center.
Yeah, that's the problem. And again, I think what I've been telling states and cities is they should look at 2 things. One is, where are they going to get their power from? If it's a small data center, you don't care. But if it's a big one, they should be building their own power plant probably. And in those cases, wind and solar just takes way too long. You have to accumulate enough wind and solar energy, electricity to power a data center. You have to put in all kinds of solar facilities, all kinds of wind facilities. You have to build transmission out to all these things. It takes forever. And so what's happening is these data center companies are putting in their own gas-fired power plants in most cases. The second thing states and locals have to look at is the water usage, and they need to know that the power plant is not just using evaporative cooling for the servers. They need to have a recycled system if they're using water, so that they aren't continually using water, and so that the recycled systems evaporate the water, cool the boards, and then it's in a contained system, and it condenses and it's used again, or
Right.
maybe a small nuclear plant. But the idea of a ban, that they're just going to lose out. It's going to go to other states that are building them.
Yeah, we had the mayor of Elk Grove on yesterday, and he talked about they use a bathtub full of water a year because of the recycling. So I want to talk to you
Okay,
about
great.
artificial intelligence. Is it the new reason for progressive politicians to demand bigger government? And what are some examples?
Well, it seems to be. We talked about last time we were on about this how Senator it was Senator Bernie Sanders and Representative Ocasio-Cortez want a nationwide ban on data centers. But we now have other proposals here. We have Senator Elizabeth Warren has proposed a federal tax on artificial intelligence companies. And Bernie Sanders even goes bigger. He says that the federal government ought to seize 50% of the stock value of the AI companies and own that stock value, and then set up a big fund. So this is back to we got to have the federal government own everything. Just really a poor policy. Hopefully, no one in Congress is going to go for these proposals.
And when Bernie Sanders says, it's Jim, by the way. Thanks for being on scene. When Bernie Sanders says these things, it's so consistent. He's done this the whole time, trying to do this. But one thing that kind of shocked me a little bit too is President Trump is also talking about taking some stakes in these too, which I don't love that. I didn't vote for any socialist policies.
I agree.
Yeah. So okay, good. Now the one thing I wanted to ask too.
Well, the president was. I don't know if he's talking about taking stakes in companies, but he wanted 20% of all the revenue that NVIDIA was selling to China. That was one of the things he cut a deal with them. So I don't think that's really good policy either.
No, and again, like I said earlier, I have a lot of criticisms of the macroeconomic policies, but I would vote for him again, tomorrow in a heartbeat. You said something. There was tax breaks that were allowed in Illinois and allowing them to build data centers over the last couple of years. How did the Democrats allow for that? And now are they just realizing that they're under scrutiny, so they're pivoting?
Well, I think this is part of under the umbrella of a standard Illinois program for industries that were coming into the states. I think there are tax breaks for a lot of different industries, and data centers were allowed, but now Governor Pritzker is specifically suspending applications for data centers under these programs. And I think the press has said that he can't repeal the program, but he can slow walk all of the applications for data centers. So I think that's what's going on.
I don't think you could be as bad and as deleterious for the economy if you tried, if you set out to be as bad and deleterious. Anyway, that's just amusing. I guess that's not really a question.
Data centers aren't going away. No. We're going to need more of them, not less.
If we don't have them here, they'll build them in China. They're going to be going to win this AI race. And by the way, with states competing against any sort of federalist system where it is implied that is better than us, they should be beating us. That's the only way you get the best. Do something stupid.
Well, again, have the key thing is get data centers build their own power plants.
Great.
Have them have a where it's recycled, and then you should have pretty good business go to other places.
Amen.
Suspended purchases of carbon removal allowance efforts to fight climate change.
That say, well, we're just going to take carbon dioxide right out of the air. So funding all of this, like something like 80% of all ventures that have been funded by Microsoft in terms they buy these carbon, that they're going to stop doing this. They're going to pause it. All road USA friends. There was a big letter that said, "How dare you, Microsoft? You're pulling But it's just another example of how many across the world are stepping back from climate and underway for about a decade.
Dioxide into all the marijuana growing areas.
Party on. All right, Steve Gorman, thank you so much. Published.
Yeah, Jeannie. .com, and I'll send them if they including Green Breakdown, the coming renewable energy. The science and economics, they have about more than 100. Here's one. There was a company that was that sucked carbon dioxide to save the planet at the same time.
That's fantastic.
Real information in your time, and we'll definitely
show that the Chicago Press Corps and the Democrats in Spring. Real story on
Owned business bank, a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your. And I know this because Signature Bank.
Total Wall and a client of Signature Bank. We produce high-performance insulating finish systems and other. Over the years, Signature Bank has been more than a financial and connected us with trusted professionals and a true partner. That's why I value my relationship.
It helps local businesses. Call Signature Bank at 773-46. Bank. Member FDIC, Equal Housing.
Inviting you to join me for the 2020 conference, Friday, June 12th and Saturday, June 3rd. I'll be speaking and signing copies shaped the Supreme Court and restored the U.S. Constitution. .org. Issues, etc.
They're hiding stories from you, deliberately. Restoration News is changing that. Restoration News is the conservative media force fighting back in the information war for America's future. Download the Restoration News mobile app today or news.com. Real stories, real truth. It's time you knew what they don't want you to know.
AM 560, The Answer.
Okay. Welcome back to The Real Answer. Jeannie Ives is in Alaska.
The Real Answer?
I have to tell what did I call it again? Oh my gosh, where
The
am
Real
I?
Answer,
Yes.
Amy? The real story?
The real
That's okay,
story.
we are the answer.
You know
We're
what,
the real
though?
answer too. Okay, I like it.
Maybe it's a work in progress. I don't know.
I like it. Yeah.
All right, I have to tell you what was really cute because you're in Alaska right now. I can hear your grandkids, and I love it. I heard a little
I'm so sorry.
a cute
Can you?
little hee. Oh, it's adorable.
Yeah, they're downstairs.
How's it going so far?
No, it's great.
Okay.
I love it.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
it's adorable.
We use my son's spotting scope. He's got this mountain at the end of his street that you can look up at, and we use his scope, and we can see all of the mountain goats up there. Just families of them. It's really cool.
I bet it's nice and quiet, and you can see the stars and all that.
Yeah, and then we were in downtown Juneau yesterday, and 5 massive cruise ships. Massive. I've never really seen a ship that big before.
Yeah, and there was
although
5
an
of
aircraft
them.
carrier is pretty big.
Yeah. All right. Well, we want to remind people because there's still openings for our annual AM 560 golf outing. It's sponsored by Signature Bank. We're once again partnering with Tunnel to Towers Foundation. It's a great organization to help provide our first responders and military heroes, including our homeless vets. It's so important we don't forget about them. And we're going to raise money for them on Monday, June 15th at McRae Memorial Golf Club in Barrington. We still have a few foursomes left, and if you've got a twosome, definitely sign up. Where you go for that is 560theanswer.com/golf, 560theanswer.com/golf, and we will see you on Monday. But the reason why we have our next guest in is because the only reason why I'm playing in this tournament, because it's going to be competitive, I'm sure, been working on my golf game, is because of Virago. And I called you last week. This is Dr. Huber, who invented Virago. And I called you and said, what is going on?
Well, it's good to see you again, Amy. Virago is an anti-inflammatory, and it helps those joints, reduce the inflammation in your joints. And it, of course, with your problem with your shoulder, it would help reduce when you reduce that inflammation, you reduce the pain. And hopefully,
but I always thought it was just to boost your immune system and not this any other stuff.
Well, inflammation is your immune system.
Okay.
You know, if you can control, you calm down the immune response, you calm down inflammation. That's all immunity. That's what happens. That's like with obesity and with diabetes. Your body's constantly inflamed, and it damages the organs. And that's why Virago works so well on inflammation, because we designed it that way to reduce it. And I didn't know it would help people with their golf swing.
Well, with shoulder, even driving, it used to hurt to drive. I couldn't sleep at night, and I thought, I went to a specialist. I was going to have to get surgery, and of course, the surgeons want your money. They want to replace that rotator cuff. And I tried other things, PT, and then my sister asked me. She said, "What's the difference?" I said, "I've been taking Virago." So I want to thank you for that.
Oh, you're welcome, and it will get that inflammation down, and that's what we made it for. It's your immune response. Just to help with the joints, help with the damage that obesity, diabetes, and hypertension do in your body, besides, fighting viruses and things like that, which is more what the original thought was, but get that inflation down. Remember with the zombie cells, we talked about those.
Just don't start talking about those zombies again.
But
how about,
producing inflammation.
If you're obese, why should you be on Virago?
Because your obesity causes inflammation in your body. It's not for weight loss, but it's for that inflammation. Your cells become insulin resistant. You start getting all this inflammation constantly, the fat cells. So they damage organs. Inflammation damage organs. And that's what we want to stop. With what Virago at myvirago.com, you get a bottle that reduces inflammation, protects those organs. With diabetics and hypertensives and obesity, the three biggies.
And it helps reduce people's cholesterol, blood pressure. I mean,
it works. Some of the bioflavonoids in there increase what they call your LDL receptors in your liver, but I did not design it to reduce cholesterol. But it aids in that direction. But it's
Amy just wants to know whether or not it's going to help her golf game on Monday.
Well, I mean, hopefully it'll cut a few strokes off her. Okay?
Oh yeah, right. So, Jeannie, have you been taking Virago yet, or not constantly? I mean, I know you're been traveling.
I've tried it. Yeah, I did try it, and I'm just not a very good person at creating good habits and doing it consistently.
Well, I will tell you that, and you need to go to the doctor. She hates when I have this conversation with her, because I'm always constantly doing checkups and things like that. And
well, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, keeps your health up.
Right.
Yeah.
So why did you invent Virago? Like, what was the antithesis for you to do it?
It started because of COVID.
Oh,
that's really what we were fighting. And then all of a sudden,
everything was about your immune system, immune system.
And we realized, wow, it does all these other things. People with other autoimmune problems, it was helping them, inflammation in the joints. And we started noticing, hey, these diabetics, it helps protect the organs. It helps protect their liver, their kidneys, and their brain, and their heart. Those are the organs that are mainly damaged with all these inflammation producing disorders. So we protect those organs. Even though you're under treatment, you still have inflammation. And inflammation is what drives a lot of diseases.
And a lot of pain.
Yeah. Oh, pain. Inflammation in the joints.
And it's
rheumatoid arthritis.
When you see obese people walking around, they look like they're in so much pain. Like, I had to watch Pritzker for 3 years, and I don't think he could have bent down to tie his shoes.
Pritzker, who broke his leg just standing?
He broke his femur, Jeannie, at the state fair by standing.
Just standing.
Yes.
Just standing.
Well, it's heavy
and
weight.
that wasn't a wake-up call for him, though.
Wait, I know, but I mean, and so then, what was the wake-up call for him to, like, obviously be on something? is the fact that he thinks he wants to run for president. Did you notice that he swapped out his picture on his X account?
Oh, he did?
Have you noticed he's got the slimmer looking facial picture?
Oh.
Did you see that?
Well, he has lost
he is
a
absolutely
lot of
changing
weight.
all of his social media stuff.
Oh, for the new you, for the new him? And he actually thinks
I don't know.
that he can
He
run
wants you to
for
pretend
president.
it's walking along the lakefront that's doing it. I think he's on something instead.
Well, I think it's a combination of both. But if you saw him walking along the lakefront with Marion Ahern that one time, the bottom of his legs, the front of his legs, they were deep purple. It was almost as if he was bruised.
Oh,
and it
venous
looks
insufficiency, probably.
Yeah, I
A lot
mean,
of
that's
varicose.
how could Virago help with that?
Well, it does help your vascular system,
Yeah.
because it has MK7 in it. Sure, it does. It does help the vascular system.
Wow.
But and I tell you, what we're doing today, we're going to start a new promo code.
Yeah.
Amy.
Oh, I have
40. Just for
Oh.
this show, because of,
Okay.
you guys treated Virago so well. We're going 40% off to Amy listeners. It's going to be Amy 40. We used the Immune before, and that's 30%. If you use the Immune, that's 30. But because of Amy's show helping Virago so much, and
Well,
the
Jeannie and
five,
Amy's show,
Jeannie
yes,
and
but-
Amy's.
and then
Yes,
Jeannie
Jeannie and
hopefully-
Amy. I forgot.
yes.
She's not. I don't. I
She's
can
the
only
boss,
share.
yes.
Jeannie and Amy's show is so good. We're going to do Amy 40.
Okay. And then you'll
till
get
not-
40%
till-
off.
till Sunday at myvirago.com. And because you guys have been so great for Virago.
Well,
both
I
of
really
you.
appreciate
Well, you know,
your product.
and we just appreciate, in the manner of keeping things local, we appreciate having local voices on about a product that works. And so we want to promote local businesses. And so for us, that's really important.
And we don't want you to leave Illinois.
No, where I it's hard not to, but I was born here.
Oh, well,
And
most of us were.
I
yes.
love where I was born, and I want to stay here, and hopefully we'll get some really good governance.
And it's good to support local businesses, conservative companions. Go to myvirago.com. Use promo code Amy.
Amy 40 to get 40% off.
I'll be here to hear what's on your mind.
Kids want to share what's going on in their lives with the adults around them. Parents, grandparents, teachers, coaches, and more. They want to know you're listening, and they want to listen to you. They want your input and guidance, early and often, on all kinds of topics. When it comes to a serious subject like underage drinking, they want to know your expectations, as well as how and why as a young person they should avoid alcohol. How you talk about it will change as your child grows, but the important thing is to talk about it. Not just once for an hour when you think the time is right,